Turn up the volume, turn up the volume. Welcome to another day of Mindset Breakthrough Day with Sandra Bravo in Gold Coast. I'm back in Gold Coast and we are here thanks to Success Resources and Tony Robbins. And you probably recognize my environment. I'm so happy to be home. I've been away for nearly 2 weeks. And of course, it was an amazing holiday. And it's also nice to come home. And you know what? Because just before I left, I had just finished doing UPW Virtual with Tony Robbins from the comfort of my home. In fact, I did it here in my office because I wanted to have him on the biggest screen. And so I took my journal with me. Well, a couple of them I have, depending on the topic. And I had all my notes from UPW Virtual, and it was just so nice to take the time off to remove myself from my environment and be able to apply and implement and analyze all of the lessons and the learnings that I had. And okay, first of all, you can see I'm really sunburned. That was very naughty because 2 times that we went on a tour to other islands, I forgot to take our hats. And even though we reapplied, one thing about the sun in tropical North Queensland in Australia is very dangerous because it's the spot where we are the closest to the hole in the ozone layer of the earth. So the sun really causes some damage. And now I'm upset. Even my little one is going, Mom, you're very naughty. You're going to have to go to the doctor. So I keep moisturizing and putting cream and hopefully it will heal. But I got a bad sunburn. But anyway, other than that, if you didn't follow our adventures, it's fun. I strongly encourage you and recommend that you do. Whatever you're watching this stream right now, because we broadcast this in many different channels, whatever you're watching it from, just scroll down through the previous days and you will see quite a few days, not all of them because we don't do the weekends, but you'll see a lot of my 2-week adventure where, Tony Robbins always says, you can either sit down and wait for the storm to pass, for things to go back to normal, for life to happen, or you can take charge of your own destiny. You can take control, you can make decisions, and you can embrace and create by design with intention, right? And that's exactly what I did because the school holidays came. It's been 6 months since we've been in lockdown, and here in Australia, I don't know what it is like where you are. Let me know where you are joining us from, whether you're watching the live or the replay afterwards, because you may be in Europe. If that's the case, good morning. And you may be in Australia or Asia, where it's afternoon. And if you're in North America, it might be a little late for you. I was just talking to a really nice friend of mine in Canada, and it's midnight for him, and he's going to bed. So if you're in North America, you probably sleep, but you might be watching the replay afterwards, or you might be a late night owl like my friend, and you might still be up. So let me know where you're joining us from so that I can get to know you. But basically, it might be different wherever you are in the world as to how many restrictions or limitations you have with this whole pandemic. But for us here in Australia, we're not even allowed to travel interstate. So all the borders of each state, they're closed. And especially Victoria, I'm sorry, I have so many dear, close friends of mine that are like family down there, and they can't go anywhere. They can't even visit each other. They can't leave their houses for more than 4 kilometers, which means all they can do is go and get food. And they have a curfew where they need to be back home by 9 p.m. and they're not allowed to visit other people or, be doing social things in public and etc. So I'm sorry for them because they've been like that for a long time now and they're doing it tough. But here in Queensland, I guess, first of all, I'm super grateful, blessed and fortunate to live in such a beautiful part of the world. We have the tropical weather and the beaches and just beautiful scenery. And mountains and golf courses and kangaroos and theme parks, and it is amazing, but we still can't leave the state. And so normally I've been traveling for the last 20 years of my life, first because I used to work for Flight Centre Limited, which is one of the largest chains of travel agencies in Australia, and I was there for 10 years, so I got to travel a lot. And then after I quit my full-time job after I attended my first UPW 10 years ago with Tony Robbins, and I was fortunate enough to be able to start my own business and quit my job and start contracting out to Success Resources, doing what I love, speaking all over the world on their different stages and now virtually. And I, continue to travel. And so I love traveling, and I hadn't been home for so long in 20 years. And so I've been home for 6 months, right? And so the school holidays were coming, and I'm like, what are we going to do? Normally we would be flying overseas or doing a cruise or, going to Mexico or Bali or Thailand or Europe or that cruise out of North America. And now we couldn't do any of that. And I just thought, I don't know, we already spent the last school holidays in June, July at home. And the ones before that for Easter in April, because we had a holiday booked to Bali for 10 days, which unfortunately got canceled last minute. We were leaving the first few days of April, and that's when the lockdown came. And I remember getting the first news saying, Bali, Indonesia just closed their doors to Australians. You can no longer get in. And I'm like, no, I'm going on holidays. And then Australia saying, sorry, you can't leave Australia. And so that got canceled, which means we got to spend home the school holidays for Easter in April. And then the school holidays came for June, July, and we spent it at home. And so this was the third school holidays. It's too many school holidays. If you ask me, in Australia, every 3 months the kids have a couple of weeks holidays, and it might be great for the teachers, but it's a lot for the parents, especially when we just spent a couple of months homeschooling them with the lockdown, right? And so anyway, the school holidays were coming and we couldn't fly anywhere. And I just thought, well, I guess we'll just stay home. And then I went, no, do you know what? I don't want my poor kids on their electronics all day long, bored, or, spending too much time on the screens. I want to get them active. I don't want them out in the shopping centers with their friends all the time. The theme parks are going to be jam-packed. So what can we do? And I got resourceful, and I got my thinking cap on. And, just like Tony Robbins says, you can just sit and allow things to happen and the circumstances to dictate your day, your destiny, or you can take charge and set the intention and, create the life that you really want. And so that's exactly what I did. I started Googling, looking for options, and then it came to me, oh my God, Motorhome, let's do it. So I found a great website, which is similar to Airbnb, that allows you to rent your own house or apartment. This website that I found allows you to rent out your own motorhome, or camper van, or whatever, recreational vehicle, or however you call it. They call it different things in different parts of the world. And that's what I did. I went, what a great idea. We will rent a motorhome and we will just go on a road trip adventure all over Queensland, which is where I live. And I'm down south, so there's a lot to go up north. And the further north that you get, the warmer it gets, the hotter it gets, the more beautiful beaches. And for the north, we have the largest reef in the world, the Great Barrier Reef, that you probably have. So I just, even though I've been to a couple of places, I've just been to the touristy, common places, but not everywhere as such. And so here we go. The girls and I told the girls, and I didn't know how they were going to react, because to be honest, my kids have been very spoiled. They're children of privilege, and, they've flown business class and first class all over the world, and they've been to a lot of countries and 5-star hotels and the nicest suites in the cruises and all of these. And then I just thought, let's see what they say about camping in a motorhome. I'm like, hey guys, since we can't go anywhere, I've been thinking of hiring a motorhome. And they're like, that's a great idea, Mom. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. Let's see if they think the same when they get in it and they realize it's this tiny little space with, the bed, the kitchen, the bathroom, and everything in this little square. And we only decided last minute. I was actually lucky to find this one because, again, the fact that it's school holidays and no one can leave the state, everything was booked out. So we decided to get the motorhome, and we just embrace our spirit of adventure, and we just went for it. We just all out. We decided we're gonna go have fun no matter what. I was a little bit nervous at the beginning because I've never driven a motorhome in my life. And of course, it's way, way, way bigger than my car. And it's a diesel engine. I drive an electric, so completely different. And so what I did, I got resourceful, right? Tony Robbins always says, what do you do if you want to learn something fast? Well, instead of trying to figure out your own way, you get a mentor, you find a role model, you find someone who has already done it and learn from them. And that way you fast track, instead of trial and error, figuring your own way, you fast track your journey there. And that's what I did. I have some dear friends, Shelley and Ross Dalton, in case they're watching this. And they bought a motorhome, I think it was about a year ago, no, about a year and a half ago. They got it designed and custom made for them. So it's a really fancy motorhome they have. And I remember they traveled Queensland for a few months last year because they stopped off on their way and they came and stayed here at my place for a couple of nights, which was really, really lovely to have them. And I remember, so they're currently in Tasmania with their motorhome, and they're not allowed to leave because the borders are closed. Tasmania, by the way, if you're not familiar with Australia, is a little island off the mainland of Australia. And it's very cold most of the year. So the poor buggers are having 7 or 10 degrees if they're lucky, while we're enjoying high 20s, low 30s here. This is centigrades. And so I messaged him and I said, hey guys, would you mind jumping on a Zoom call with me and allow me to pick your brain and learn everything about the motorhome? Because I decided to go on a road trip adventure with my girls, nothing planned. We're just going to explore Queensland and take it where it takes us, right? And they're like, of course. So they were so nice. They jumped on a Zoom call with me and we spoke for a long time, and I was like taking notes like crazy. I asked all the questions of anything I wanted to know. I'm like, what do I do with the toilet? What do I do if all the camping places are booked out? How do I connect to electricity, to water? What can I do if I don't have any electricity and water to plug into? Where should I go? What places do you recommend? What things should I be careful of? What should I know? I had all my questions planned. Again, I could have figured out by myself, maybe the painful way, or I could follow Tony Robbins' advice and find someone who has done what I wanted to do and go and learn from them to shortcut my journey. And that's what I did. So I got very excited. They were amazing. I'm so grateful to Shelley and Ross Dalton. And I just took so many notes. They told me, do your own mosquito repellent, because when you go up there, the sand flies. They're so annoying that the commercial mosquito repellents don't work. And if you travel inland, be very careful, because in very shallow waters, there's a lot of crocodiles and they're dangerous. They can run super fast and get you eaten. And well, amazing advice, right? And if you go this way, you're going to lose the reception, and make sure that you always have the fittings for the taps and all of this amazing advice. And I make sure to implement it. I went shopping for everything I needed. And sure enough, I was brave enough. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, because one of my highest values, and you're going to learn when you attend UPW Virtual with Tony Robbins, you're going to learn what your highest values are. And for me, one of my highest values is growth. And so part of that value is putting myself out of my comfort zone and, doing the things that make me feel uncomfortable. And I was a little apprehensive, because I went along with my 2 girls and this little munchkin here, Chloe, who is having a nice little nap on my couch. And so I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never driven this thing. I don't know where I'm going, and I don't have anything booked. So we have the risk of not finding availability and having to figure it out. And sure enough, do you know what? Anything that pushes me out of my comfort zone and allows me to grow, because it's one of my highest values, is just exciting. It gets the butterflies going in my tummy, and I'm pumped, and I'm like, let's do this, right? And so I sure did. I went to pick up the motorhome. The gentleman that rented it to me kind of showed me what to do and stuff. And the first hour driving, it was really weird, because it's so big. It's nearly 8 meters long. 3.5 high, I don't know how wide, and like way bigger than my car, and it drives very differently to my car. But the first hour I had all my additional senses on. Once I got the hang of the big mirrors and I got situated with the size and everything, it just it just became so much easier, and I started to feel more confident, and I started to, go a bit faster, and I started to get brave enough to pass any slower cars on the road, and etc. And sure enough, the first night we had nowhere to stay. Everything was completely booked out, and we were brave enough to just park on a little street, a couple of streets up from the beach, stayed at the night. And the first night, I won't lie to you, the first night I was a little bit like apprehensive, like missing my 5-star hotel. Like, okay, so, but you know what? Once I got past that, the next day, I just realized, you know what? People don't need too much to be happy. Number one. Number two, electricity and water became so precious all of a sudden. Like, we could be brushing our teeth, and like all of a sudden we're closing the tap, and we're being careful because we don't know if the following night we're going to find a place to plug into water and electricity or not. So we have to be very conservative, and take it easy with the amount of water we have on board. And so it really allowed us to appreciate the value of water and electricity that we take for granted, right? Because at home, you have water and electricity at your disposal. You have electricity plugs and sockets, so many of them in each room of your house. And here is like we're taking it in turns to charge the phones. And if we're not plugged into electricity, we can only use the one from the driver's area. If we're plugged to electricity, no problem. We can have air conditioning and use the other plugs. But all of a sudden, it was really nice for my kids to realize how privileged they are in the lifestyle that I've been fortunate enough to provide for them. And so we really started to appreciate the value of water and electricity. And we were so fortunate after that. Just like Tony Robbins says, I turn it up to my creator, my higher power, the universe, whatever you want to call it. And, the kids would say, if we don't find somewhere, Mom, it's because the universe has something better for us. And we were so fortunate to find magical spots on the beach, places that were kids friendly, with outdoor cinemas, like screens, and that they could just go in the evening, lie down with their pillow and other kids and watch a movie with popcorn, and beautiful facilities. And we managed to do all the tours we wanted to do, even though they were booked out. We would change things around so we could fit them in, or they would call me back and say, we just had a last minute cancellation, you're in. And it's not luck. You create your own luck, and you take charge. Just like Tony Robbins says, unleash the power within, because it allows you to create, to design the life of your dreams with intention, by design. That's why it's called that. And that's why it's called unleash the power, because you've got it within. But unless you know how to do it, how to allow yourself to take your life to the next level in whatever area of your life it is, it's always going to be repressed in there, right? And so for us to feel free, you know what? I realized how little people need to be happy. I mean, I was in my kitchen this morning, this massive kitchen at home, getting breakfast ready for little Brie to go to school. And I felt weird. I didn't know what to do with myself with all this space, because I was already now accustomed to my little 2x2 kitchen inside the motorhome, right? And it just allowed me to appreciate everything. It allowed me to feel detached from all the material things, because I realized how little we needed in those 2 weeks to feel happy. And you know what? The kids were away from the devices. We were forced to be surrounded by nature all day long, because you just go in the motorhome to sleep and do what you have to do. If usually when we're on a really nice suite in the cruise or a 5-star hotel, we spend a lot of time in the room because it's so nice, right? But this way we were out, surrounded by nature, fresh air, doing activities, and exercising and meeting other people. We met some lovely friends, some Brazilians that moved to Australia last year. We became family friends with them. We met a beautiful family from Papua New Guinea that live here in Brisbane as well. And so we ended up going out to dinner with them, and we had a ball, and all the kids bonded, and it was so magical. I feel that we developed really close friendships that hopefully will last for life. And we really learned to appreciate what we have. And we got to explore magical places that I didn't even know existed, and that they're just in my background, in my same state. How many times we want to go and explore other countries and international borders when we have all this magic right at our footstep, right? And that's what happened for me. It's like, wow, look at all these magical places. And we went snorkeling and scuba diving, and we took a private scenic flight, little plane, and we took a private helicopter flight, and we just did so many amazing things. And sure enough, my friends were warning me about the crocs. These families that we were having dinner with, they were saying that it was really freaky 2 or 3 days before they went to this beach called Dingo Beach, where they have wild dingoes, wild dogs, and that they were uh, all these dingoes, and that this giant, like 4 meter long crocodile just came and literally ate one just like that, like if it was a little cashew kind of a snack, right? And we were like, okay, I'm so glad we didn't go there. Oh my God. And it was just such an amazing adventure. I never thought that a camping holiday would be so amazing and spectacular and teach us so many life lessons. And you know what? I will remember Tony Robbins forever, because I could have just sat here in my house waiting until lockdown ended for us to go away, or I could become resourceful, take charge, and go, you know what? Let's make a holiday. Let's do it. And it doesn't matter. Let's just go. So I am I'm so glad we did it. It was amazing. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have a little 5-minute video to show you with all the highlights of the holiday. I have like over 300 photos and videos, and I'm sure with the support of the amazing team at Success Resources, I'll be able to put something together just to show you the best of the best. And I just want to tell you that I don't know where my life would be today had I not done Tony Robbins UPW first 10 years ago, and then a couple of months ago in July, and then 2 weeks ago here in Australia. And now is your opportunity, because opportunities like these only show up once in a lifetime. And now is your opportunity. UPW Virtual is coming back 22nd to 26th of October. I'm gonna be there again doing it. So hopefully you and I are in a breakout room together, because you know what? It doesn't matter. For me, it's gonna be the fourth time. You're not the same person that you were. For me, there's always another layer of the onion to peel. There's always another level to take my life to. There's always another limiting belief hiding in my subconscious somewhere that I don't even know I have. And there's always time to make it bigger and better. And that's why any opportunity I have to be around Tony Robbins, I take it. I don't hesitate. I just go for it, because I know what a difference he has made in my life. And I wouldn't be living the life of my dreams if I had not attended the very first UPW 10 years ago. So I really, really encourage you to join me. Make it a priority. The time and the money will show up when you make the decision, when you decide it's important enough. So go ahead and grab your ticket, bringthefreedom.com, and I look forward to seeing you at UPW Virtual with the man, the legend himself, Tony Robbins. So thank you for tuning in today. Scroll down wherever you are to watch the previous episodes that we've done. And tomorrow I will be here, same place, same time. I look forward to seeing you. On behalf of Success Resources, Tony Robbins, and myself, Sandra Bravo, signing off from Gold Coast of Australia. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, live with passion.